Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah wada. Assalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. May peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be on all of you. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is absolutely one and unique. May peace be upon you, O Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In continuation of the topic, Al-Quran and modern science, compatible or incompatible, conflict or conciliate. After segment 1, today, inshallah, I will highlight on this topic in light of hydrology and geology. In the field of hydrology, water cycle. In 1580, Bernard Palissy was the first person who described how water evaporates from the ocean and cools to form clouds. These clouds move inland where they rise, condense, and fall as rain. The water gathers as lakes and streams and flows back to the ocean in a continuous cycle. In 7th century BC, Thales of Miletus believed that surface spray of the oceans was picked up by the wind and carried inland to fall as rain. Previously, people did not know the source of underground water. They believed water of the oceans, under the effect of the wind, was thrust towards interior of the continents. They also believed that water returned by a secret passage or great abyss. This passage is connected to the ocean that has been called Tartarus since Plato's time. Even Descartes, a great thinker of 18th century, subscribed to this view. Till 19th century, Aristotle's theory was still prevalent. According to this theory, water was condensed in a cool mountain caverns and formed underground lakes that paid springs. Today we have come to know that rainwater that seeps into the cracks of the ground is responsible for this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 23 Surah Mu'min verse 18, وَأَنْزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً بِقَدْرٍ فَأَسْكَنَّهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِنَّا عَلَى جَحْبٍ بِهِ لَقَادِرُونَ. We send down water from the sky according to due measure, and we cause it to soak in the soil, and we are certainly able to drain it off easily. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Quran chapter 39, Surah Jumar, verse number 21. Alam tara anna allaha anzala minas samai ma'an fasalakahu yanabiyya fil ardi summa yakhriju bihi jar'an mukhtalifan alwanuhu. Seest thou not that Allah sends rain from the sky and leads it through a spring in the earth, and He causes to grow there with produce of various colors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Quran chapter 30, Surah Rum, verse number 24, وَيُنَزِّلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً وَيُحْيِي الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا وَإِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. He sends rain from the sky. With it He gives life to the earth after its death. Verily in these are signs for those who are wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Quran chapter 86, Surah At-Tariq, verse number 11, وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجِيِّ by the firmament which returns in its round. It indicates evaporation. Winds impregnate clouds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 15, Surah Hijr, verse number 22. وَأَرْسَلْنَا الرِّيَاحَ لَعَقِيَةً فَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَأَسْقَيْنَاكُمُوهُ. We send the fecundating wind and cause the rain to descend from the sky, and therewith providing you water in abundance. Here the Arabic word lawakia is the plural of the word laki. It comes from the word laka, which means to impregnate or fecundate. In this context, impregnate means wind pushes clouds together, increasing condensation that causes lightning and thus rain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Quran chapter 24, Surah An-Nur, verse number 43. Alam tara anna allaha yulzi sahaban summa yuallifu bainahu summa yazalhu rukama fatarul wadka yakhruju min khilalihi wa yunazzilu minas samai min jibalin fihima min baradin wa yusibu bihi man yasha'u yasrifu amman yasha'u yakadu sanabal yazahu bil absar. Seest thou not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the cloud move gently, then joins them together and makes them into heap? Then wilt thou see rain issue forth from the midst, and he sends down from the sky mountain masses of clouds, wherein is hail. He strikes therewith whom he pleases, and he turns it away from whom he pleases. The vivid flash of his lightning while night blinds the sight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Quran chapter 30, Surah Rum, verse number 48. Allahu allazi yursilu riyaha fatushiru sahaban fayabsitu fis samai kayfa yasha'u yaz'aluhu kisafan fatal qad yakhriju min khilali faiza asaba bihi man yasha'u min ibadi izhum yastabshirun. It is Allah who sends the wind and there is the clouds. Then does he spread them in the sky as he wills, break them into pregnant, until thou seest raindrops issue forth the midst thereof, and then when he has made them release such of his servants as he wills, behold, they do rejoice. Modern data on hydrology agrees perfectly with Quranic descriptions. Water cycle is described in detail in many other verses of the Quran, including chapter 7, Surah Arab, verse 57, chapter 13, Surah Rad, verse number 17, chapter 25, Surah Al-Furqan, verse number 48 and 49, chapter 35, Surah Fatir, verse number 9, chapter 36, Surah Yasin, verse number 34, chapter 50, Surah Kaf, verse number 9 to 11, chapter 45, Surah Jashi, verse number 5, chapter 56, Surah Al-Waqiyah, verse number 60 to 70, and chapter 67, Surah Al-Mulk, verse number 30. Let's see in the field of geology. Mountains are like pinpricks. In geology, folding is a recently discovered fact. Folding is responsible for formation of mountain ranges. The earth crust on which we live is like a solid shell, while the deeper layers are hot and fluid and thus inhospitable to any form of life. It is known that the stability of the mountain is linked to the phenomenon of folding, for it was folds that were to provide foundations for the relief that constitute mountains. Geologists now tell us that the radius of the earth is 6035 kilometers and the earth crust on which we live is thin, ranges 2 to 35 kilometers. Since earth's crust is very thin, it has a high possibility of shaking. Mountains act like tent pegs that hold the earth crust and give it stability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 70, Surah An-Naba, verse number 6 and 7, Alam naj'alil arda mihada wal jibala awtada. Have we not made the earth as a wide expanse and mountains as peaks? Here the Arabic word for the mountain is awtad, which means stakes or tent pegs, like those are used to anchor a tent. These are deep foundations of geological poles. A book entitled Earth is regarded basic reference textbook on geology in many universities of the world. One of the authors of this book, Dr. Frank Pace, who was president of Academy of Science in USA for 12 years and was science advisor to former US President Jimmy Carter. Dr. Press, in his book, illustrates that mountain in a watershed and that mountain as a small part of the whole, whose root is deeply entrenched in the ground. According to Press, mountains play a vital role in stabilizing the earth crust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 21 Surah Anbiya verse number 31, وَجَعَلْنَا فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ أَن تَمِيدَ بِهِمْ. We have set on earth mountains standing firm, lest it should shake with them. The same message is also mentioned in chapter 16 Surah An-Nahl verse 15, also chapter 31 Surah Luqman verse number 10. Mountains firmly fixed. The surface of the earth is broken into many rigid plates that are about 100 km in thickness. These plates float on a partially molten region called as thermosphere. Mountain formation occurs at the boundary level of the plates. Earth crust is 5 km thick below ocean level and almost 35 km thick below flat continental surface and almost 80 km thick below great mountain ranges. These are the strong foundations on which mountains stand. Glorious Quran also mentions about the foundation of mountain in chapter 79 Surah Najiyat verse number 32. All jibala arsa, and the earth and the mountain hath he firmly fixed. modern data on geology agrees perfectly with the Quranic descriptions. And glorious Quran mentioned this fact, I mean, nature of the mountain and its activities 1400 years ago that we came to know by the grace of modern science couple of centuries ago.